rejuvenate an individual varies from person to person. It is not a fixed number. Opinions Joseph de Koenig, a renowned professor of psychology, adding that if one consistently gets less sleep than one needs, then a sleep deficit accumulates. The time it takes for a sleep deficit to accrue depends on how consistent the problem is. Missing a couple of hours of sleep every night for a week is probably enough, says another psychiatrist, Robert Levington. When a psychologist comes here or a psychiatrist comes here, we can understand what ailment a person has for not having a required sleep. Mental disorders. I may forget something which I say now, I may forget in the second moment. Why? Consistently for a week 2 hours every night means for a week 14 hours I am deficit of my sleep. That means what? The rejuvenation power, energy, the capacity, or the anabolic activity which is supposed to be required, 8 hours required, 2 hours less. Means only 6 hours anabolic activity has been done, constructive activity done, and remaining construction does not occur over there. Then what happens? We need 2 more hours, and for a week we are doing it. That means 14 hours. Then you can understand whatever construction has been done in my body, that has not been done for 1.5 days. 14 hours I am losing, means nearly 2 days of construction does not occur in my body. Then what will happen? That deficit itself somewhere it affects either digestive system, blood circulatory system, or respiratory system. You see, no man, no boy, no infant now, as of date, he is healthily breathing. That will also come here. No man, no boy, no adult, no woman, he is healthily taking his breath. You try to do it. And now so many yoga babas come. What they say? Pranayama. You try and do. See? Long breath you cannot take. And halfway you have to leave it. Why? That is because you are losing your capacities. Energy levels are low. Construction work is not done properly. It is being adjusted. Right? Plastered somewhere. Likewise, you are getting your lifetime simply adjusted construction. So, this Dr. Robert Leviton, he is a psychiatrist, and the other person whom you see here is, it is not a fixed number, opines Joseph de Koenig. Joseph de Koenig, he is a renowned professor in psychology. What they say is, man to man it varies, and even 2 hours if you are regularly bunking, sleeping, then you will be accumulating sleepless hours and accumulating the non-constructive part in your body, and that hampers somewhere, and mainly to the mind. It forgets. Even I know this face, somewhere I have seen, but what is his name? That way you will be put in a dilemma by yourself. And if you are search, and if you are a student, what can you remember in your mind to write examination? And so, give priority to the sleep. Swarup Chatterjee, the 20 years old IIM graduate and assistant manager at a BPO in Hyderabad, knows very well that he doesn't get enough sleep. Many are there, and mainly in BPO, because it is round the clock work. Not only round the clock work, you have to stick to the computer. the screen, the monitor and the hearing, you have to be very attentive. Then it may be 12 hours working. 12 hours working continuously, they are sitting. Then where is the time for you to relax? You may go home. After leaving the job 2 hours, you will take to reach home. Right? There, even after reaching over there, you have some domestic work to be done. You have to attend your family needs and you have to attend to your job needs. You are divided. That means some part you have to dedicate here, some part you have to dedicate there. Then where is the part dedicated to yourself? That is a big question here. So here you see, I haven't had more than 4 to 5 hours of sleep for the last 3 years. If at all it is 8 hours, let us say 8 hours. For how many hours he is taking his sleep? Hardly 5 hours or 4 hours. If it is 4 hours, 4 hours is your backlog. How many per day? And into 360 and into for last 3 years. Now you can see how many years he is getting reduced by some constructive work in his body. Anabolism work, how much it is being done in his body, you can understand. How his intestines are, how are his blood vessels, how is his heart, how is his muscles. You can understand because there is no construction. It is there but not insufficient. It is insufficient. Insufficient constructive work. Then may collapse any moment. There is no strength there. That is what happens if you are not having sufficient sleep. There is always so much that needs to be done in my professional as well as personal life. So much I have to do. How long will I be just satisfied with this job? I have to seek, go for a higher job, higher earning. Then I always feel I am just lagging behind. Somewhere I am only not going forward, I am going backward. That way I feel because I am split into two, professional and personal. I am to cater the needs here, I am to cater the needs here. Then where is the time for you to cater for yourself? So I am constantly thinking. Swarup is fully aware that all that is very stressful, and he admits that even though he has high energy levels, he is often tired, and so he drinks several cups of coffee to counter the fatigue. Fatigue. What is that fatigue? The ailment due to sleeplessness. Fatigue. Giddy or dizzy. What's a giddy, whatever you call. Why that? Because sleeplessness again. And to drive that away, to keep himself awake, to keep himself alert and ready for every job, what does he do? He takes several cups of coffee. And coffee, what does it contain? Caffeine. Caffeine it has. And it is hazardous for your health again. And people go for smoking. Why? He feels that he is alert. To get that feeling, they smoke. And that contains nicotine. Again hazardous for your health. Several cups of tea. Again. You see, you know it pretty well that you are not sleeping properly, and that way you are losing your capacity to immunize within your body, and still you are smoking. That nicotine or this caffeine whatsoever is there in those drink and in this smoking, that will adversely affect on your immunization system. Again, right? But he can't leave it. He gets habituated to it. Slowly he gets habituated to that. He has to take ready a cup of coffee here to be alert on the table and answer all the queries, right? So now you can understand under what stress the youth are there now presently. Youth are always under pressure now. So, but I know that I will be able to concentrate better if only I got more sleep. I drink coffee, I drink tea, I smoke. Knowingly that I'll have to sleep, then only I can concentrate. I know it pretty well. But even then I cannot sleep because my time is very, very precious. Or not only precious, it is very restricted between the professional and personal life. In a study conducted by sleep disorder experts, it was found that at least 1/3 of adults have significant sleep loss. At least 1/3 of the adults. Now you can understand, 1/3 of this whole people, they are not having proper sleep, and so they are affected by the sleeplessness hazards. Right? That is, they have just 6.5 hours or less of sleep every night. 6.5 hours. I said, the old people, they should get more time to sleep, take rest, relaxation. And the younger, that means the kids below 1 year, you have seen them to sleep always. But you must have also seen kids, they sleep less but they cry more. That kind of kids, the growth in them, it is very less, you can see. So now the example is there in front of you. The kid, the infant who is continuously crying, then sleeping, that growth in that child is very less. Whereas the child who sleeps for many hours a day and simply gets up once or twice or 3 times, just only smile and make some voices, right? And that boy is very healthy and he grows stronger. You have the example there only. You are witnessing it and still you neglect your sleeping time. Hardly 1/3 of the people hardly get 6.5 hours time to sleep. Means 1.5 hours still lagging behind, accumulating every day. And there are certain people, they wait for Sunday. I know many people, they wait for weekend. They may go for a long drive or they may go to a picture, but the whole day they want to sleep. Means there are certain families, they wake up at 10 o'clock morning, going to bed 10 o'clock in the night and waking up at 9:30 like that. Means what? The backlog they are getting cleared on that Sunday. And so weekends are very important. And there are people working on the weekends also. For them there is no remedy. They should understand. So 6.5 hours or less of sleep every night. Then a recent survey conducted in India has shown that 29% of Indians went to sleep only after midnight. Earlier, 8 o'clock, if I was away from the house, my father used to say, what were you doing outside up to midnight? 8 o'clock night he used to term it as midnight. Now 11 o'clock your dinner will be served and you will finish your dinner up to 11:30. Thereafter again something, watching a TV or something. Then at 12 o'clock or 12:30 you are sleeping. Tomorrow you have to attend somewhere something. At what time you have to get up? Nobody bothers for it. 12 o'clock to again morning 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock they sleep. And 7 o'clock they get up and hurriedly they get themselves ready and go to school or offices. That has become a routine. within the 23% of Indians here. So, 61% slept for 7 hours or less. Less than 7 hours, 61% adults are there sleeping. Less than 7 hours. The survey also arrived at the conclusion that Indians were among the world's earliest risers, with 64% getting out of bed before 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. Is there a need to reiterate that early to rise is good, provided a person follows the early to bed principle as well? Now, there is a principle, as I said earlier. What is that one? Early to bed and early to rise is the way to be healthy and gay. That way some poem or something is there. So now, if at all we have to follow that, we have to go to bed early. Then only we have to rise early. 7 o'clock, the daily routine starts. Means 6 o'clock he has to get up. But at what hour is sleeping? That we have to adjust the sleeping hours. That we are not compromising. We have to sleep by 12 o'clock. And compromisation comes where? Getting up early. Because your day starts at 7 o'clock. So here the writer stops with a question there. What is it one? Where goes your principle early to rise and early to bed? Where is that? If at all you have to get up early, because 64% of Indians, they have the habit of rising early. What makes you rise early? Because there are certain people at your home, they go to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. They are getting up by 5 o'clock in the morning and they do go for their daily routine. And hearing the sounds, we are disturbed and we are also getting up. Then why don't you go early to bed? Circumstances, no time. You see, every reason we are putting over there on others' head. Because we don't want to compromise. We can compromise our health, but we cannot compromise our working hours. We are to work. We are to finish it. The project I have to submit. Yes, finished. Now finished. Because of that only many of the scientists, they were not having a proper memory. Why? Only one subject in which they are doing their project, only that much they remember. And if his son or daughter comes, he may question, who are you? Because he is not there completely here. In the picture he is not there. He may question like that. And you may also do the same thing. You may feel wondered or excited to see your own children, your own wife tomorrow. So this is the very serious problem which we are facing now. So let us see the questions over there and what exercises are there in it. Questions we have. One, fill in the blanks we have to do.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.